It's 11:20 at night. Do you know where your kids are? They're probably playing with dolls just like me. And today the doll that we're gonna play with is this doll. This KidSuper collaboration with Barbie. Now this is a doll that I feel like was a little bit on the controversial side. People either love him or hate him. But for me, it was a slow burn. First of all, when I first saw him, I was disappointed that it was a boy doll. But I was extremely interested in the outfit. I thought the outfit was super cool. And I thought on the internet it looked pretty high quality. And as I'm looking at it in person, some of the pieces do seem high quality. But we'll take a closer look momentarily. The other thing I wasn't sold on about this doll was the face. It's the movie Ken face. The face that we've all seen a million times, and if you were collecting Barbie at the time the Barbie movie came out, you probably have 10 of these in your collection. I wasn't collecting Barbie at the time, so I don't have any of these in my collection, so there's at least that. And I was pretty much sold on not getting him, but then I actually found out the price point was much lower than I thought it was gonna be. I thought he was gonna be like, I don't know, $75, but then I found out he's $45, and I was like, oh, for that outfit? Maybe. And then I was like, wait a minute, who is KidSuper? So I looked him up and I watched a really good video. It was an interview with Colm Dillane, the designer of the KidSuper brand, and I was pretty much sold from there on out. What an inspiring guy, honestly. It probably says some stuff about him on the back, which I'll presently read. Colm Dillane is a Brooklyn-based artist, designer, and the visionary behind KidSuper Studios, a creative collective that designs and makes clothes, paints and does art shows, records music, and makes films and music videos. Dillane creates from his imagination and dreams where anything is possible. From the streets to the catwalks, he transcends boundaries through his hand-drawn artistry, wacky patchwork, and playful experimentation. This, styled by KidSuper Studios, rocks a runway look with a vintage Ken and Barbie illustration inspired from his Everything is Fake Until It's Real claymation show at Paris Fashion Week, which powered his meteoric rise in the worlds of fashion, art, and creativity. This is the dude, okay? He's like not smiling in this photo, which is weird because he like literally always is. And here it says no more than 20,000 worldwide, so this apparently is a gold label doll, right? That's what that means. And what I learned about Colm Dillane when I watched the interview about him is that he came from literally nothing. He traveled all over the country, not super stable growing up. His parents had like a street vendor business and they like were unbranded. They had no name. They don't even remember the name of their business. That's how little it meant to them. And he was always sort of an artsy guy. He has an extremely creative brain, but also like a brain for business. He understood like from the beginning that branding is going to be the whole thing. And he has a very obviously unique and interesting aesthetic that people gravitate to. He's eternally optimistic, constantly smiling, and was just a very inspirational character in the world of fashion and art. And you know I'm a fashion and art girly. And so when I heard this inspiring story and I knew that this doll existed because that's the reason I looked him up, I thought, well, I need him. He needs to be in my collection. And so I got him. And so here we go, looking at the box. Very simplistic on the outside looking box design. It just says styled by KidSuper Studios, Barbie signature Mattel. On the side, same situation with a photo of the doll. Other side, signature Barbie, styled by Colm Dillane there. The doll is inspired by one of his looks from one of his shows, and he looks like he's on the runway, right? But if you get closer, and you'll probably be able to see this better when I pull him out, but all the guests at this particular fashion show are dolls. That is so fun to me. I'm sure that Colm Dillane designed that, and that was his idea. Because that's the kind of creative thinker we've got going on here, everybody. And I just respect that. I respect the guy. I just think he's super cool. I love his like eternally optimistic spirit. As a pessimist myself, I do oftentimes gravitate towards the optimistic because I need somebody to balance me out, you know? So here we are again looking at those dolls at the fashion show. How absolutely fun is that? Look at him. He's a doll at a doll fashion show wearing like one of Colm Dillane KidSuper Studios designs, but it's also Barbified. This is like very meta for me. 10 on 10 packaging design, absolutely. Deep does. That is so cool. Look at it, it's just so cool. I'm completely obsessed with that. Nice hefty Ken stand here. This one isn't clicking together. I'm probably doing it wrong. It's probably not the stand's fault. There we go. A nice big waist clip to hook onto our man body. I'm not a Ken connoisseur. I don't usually collect male dolls, so this is kind of a little bit of a new experience for me. Our classic garbage COA. This one's a little thicker, everybody. The main event here, our doll. Now, as I'm feeling the fabrics, the ones I was like, it looks high quality. It's not that it's not high quality. The pants are kind of thin feeling. It's obviously all printed detail. And again, this wasn't a doll that was at a super high price point, so I don't know what I was expecting. Of course, there's T-ties in the jacket, but this material is fine. It's not going to ruin it. And then, unfortunately, there are no closures on the jacket, which is fine. I can add them myself, but I do wish that there were. Part of the allure of this doll for me was honestly the hair. And my hair, I'm sure all the hairs, have a hairnet, so I do need to remove this T-tied on hat that now has holes in it in order to see this hair in its full glory. If it's ugly, which I think it's going to be fresh out of the box, we'll just cover it back up with the hat. How is there another T-tie? What is this holding on, the hairnet? Bro, it had a whole ass hat holding it on. Ooh, mine's looking a lot a bit worse for the wear. This is what my hair is looking like. It's got a real like chunky frizzy piece here. I'm assuming I can wash this out and maybe make it look a little better. I also think it's rooted a little thick, if I'm being honest. I think they were going for hair similar to that. And I know this is doll scale, so it's never gonna look like that, but this is too much, man. And the thing is I know they can do this hair better than this because they did it on the Claudette doll. Her hair came out of the box perfectly. Why does this have to be like this? I'm trying to like separate the curls, but I think I'm making it worse. Hating the hair, let's put the hat back on. I might be able to fix it by washing it and cutting it. Kind of wish I didn't remove the hat. I'm having a lot of trouble getting it to stay on now. We'll take off the hat altogether. Let's have a look at it since I'm taking it off. It is just a little blue baseball cap. There's very little painted detail on it, but it does have a KS for KidSuper in yellow. Complementary colors, fun design. Here is our... I can't even look at him. Here's our guy. His hair looks like an absolute abomination. And if I'm honest, I'm a little bit disappointed because I wanted it to be better than this. I really liked the idea of like a white Ken with big, full, curly hair. And this just isn't executed as one would hope. It looks matted and terrible. But the color's nice. And I think it goes with Colm's hair very well, other than the fact that it's truly an abomination. I'm hoping I can fix this with a wash and a condition. Like, really, who knows? It's pretty terrible right now. But coming on down to the face we all know and don't necessarily love. I think if they were gonna have to use this face, this is kind of an appropriate doll to do it on. Because the guy is so smiley and happy all the time, I feel like the face actually suits his aesthetic, okay? He's got a light skin complexion to match Colm's. He's got some very thick eyebrows. There's a couple of painted hairs in there. He's got beautiful brown eyes, my favorite color. Of course, no makeup. Colm doesn't seem to wear makeup. He's got a very neutral looking lip and of course the big goofy smile. I don't know. I kind of appreciate it for this doll specifically. I don't need any more. You know what I mean? This one is enough. Oh, the hair looks so bad. And I can't even get the hat to stay back on. Poor guy. But coming on down to the outfit, which was the main selling point for me in this doll, he does have just a classic collared shirt in yellow. It does have a Velcro closure. The top piece of Velcro on mine like is not great. And it is, of course, a short sleeve shirt. I don't actually quite like the style of that, if I'm being honest. I think it's kind of chic, but also kind of fun because the collar. Over that, and main selling point for me in this doll, this coat, okay? This is a pretty nice fabric, like pretty high quality. It feels soft in my hot little hands. It's an extraordinary color. I love that color so much. It is unfinished, which is typical of Mattel, but it does have a lovely facing, and the facing does have a serged edge. So I guess we should be grateful for that. It's got some faux little buttons or snaps or whatever down the front in a sort of very cool toned pink, or I don't know, warm toned purple, whichever way you want to look at it. I do suppose these illustrations of Miss Barbara and Sir Kenjamin. Vintage Barbara and vintage Kenjamin. Okay, they're very cute. They're very stylized. They look like illustrations that were like sewn on, even though they're obviously printed on. But the printing style is actually quite nice. I feel like it looks like somebody painted it, which is cool. That's nice. It's very artistic. I appreciate an artistic moment. As for the pants, stylistically, huge fan. I love the style of these. I love the wide leg pant on a dude. I love the little tiny like stitched stripe down them in orange, my favorite color. I love these pants, especially on a man. Very interesting, unique style. It's a wide leg trouser, obviously, but it has this really cute pinstripe on it that almost look like stitching detail. Actually kind of similar to like the painting style on the Ken and the Barbie. It's orange, my favorite color, and then it's got this cool bird pattern on it. Hey, they're probably like pigeons or seagulls, you know, because those are the types of birds you see in New York. We have a family of baby pigeons living in the alley near the theater right now. They look like this, like they've seen things. I feel bad for them. The pants also have a Velcro closure in the back. This is what they look like. There's nothing on the back. I cannot believe the sheer volume of noise. And don't they know people are sleeping? Oh, they don't care. I'm an idiot. Here's a picture of Colm wearing the outfit that inspired this doll. I wonder if he made the outfit first or the doll first. I'm very interested to know. And of course, here's the shoes. This was another selling point to me, if I'm honest. Mine like aren't the best quality. There's like extra plastic hanging out from mine. A lot of quality control, you know. What do you expect? It's Mattel. Of course, no painted detail, but I love the shoe design, especially on a boy doll, because I feel like you don't see like boys in platform shoes. You know when people say they don't like boy dolls because they don't have any fashion? This is what we want when it comes to boy dolls and fashion, right? Like something chic, something modern, something artsy, something fun. KidSuper pretty much did the impossible and sold me a male doll. Mostly because I liked his outfit. This doll is on an articulated body. It's single jointed. Does it have knees? Yes, but they're taped. And mine look like shit. The quality control is garbage. But I don't know what I expected. Actually, well, it is a gold label doll, so you might expect more. Mine has like a little like split in the leg, but single jointed knee here. Single jointed elbow. Ken's head articulation is not super good up and down. He can't even exorcist. The male dolls can't be the exorcist. Only females can be possessed by the devil. Wait, is his hair looking better? Maybe it just needed to be out in the humidity. I don't know. Maybe I'm delulu because it's presently 12 o'clock at night. But even though there's clearly some quality control issues with this doll and the hair looks like a doo-doo pile right now, I think having a male doll in this outfit, so fashion, so fun, collabing with such like a creative minded artist, person, fashion designer is just like such a good direction for Mattel to be going. I feel like if they're going to be doing collaborations, this is the vibe, the mood, the vibe, and the feeling that I am looking for anyway. I really want this hat to go back on his head because I hate this hair. Let me get a pin. Also, ankle articulation. Yes, God, but look at the split in the ankle too. Like, is this doll garbage quality? Absolutely. But is he fashionably dressed? Also, absolutely. And wrist articulation also. Look at this shard of plastic here, too. Annoying. Just cut it off, right? You can't find the scissors, whatever. In conclusion, here at 12 o'clock in the evening, after I spent a long, hard day at work and finally was super excited to open these dolls, Is this guy worth $45? At the quality that he's at right now, no ma'am. But are we getting an artistic expression that somebody put thought into and spent a lot of time working on and then created something that is beautiful and unique and seldom seen on male dolls? Yes. And therefore, I'm gonna say he's worth it to me. So I'm super grateful to this doll for introducing me to KidSuper and Colm Dillane. That's a nice thing he's done for me. The dude lives in Brooklyn and has a store there, so I should probably go check it out someday in all my free time. Don't forget to let me know what you think about him. Did you pick one up? You probably didn't, because I feel like a lot of people were like, immediately put off by the doll, but I'm telling you, if you watch the video that I link down below, you'll be much more interested because the story is truly inspiring. And so that's gonna be it for me. I'm exhausted and I hope you have a wonderful time. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time. Bye. I didn't push him closer to the camera because I feel like he's the top half of him isn't the best. I want you to leave thinking about this. The best part, the Colm Dillane part, the KidSuper part. Goodbye. Before I go, gotta mention it. Got to mention it. In these high shoes, he doesn't even fit on the stand.